Hi, my name is Daniel and I've been studying computer science at college for the last 2.5 years or so. Here are 5 things that I wish I knew before I joined college. Let's get started. Number 1. Your grades are important, but so too are your extracurriculars. What do you do outside of academics? What do you find yourself doing? Do you find yourself writing code? Do you find yourself taking photos, yoga, exercise? Do you play basketball? This stuff might not matter much to you in terms of professional goals, but it's important to realize that what you do outside of the work assigned to you actually says a lot about you, and your future employer will at least care about these things. For example, if you spent a lot of time editing videos growing up, a firm that makes social media content on Instagram might be interested in paying you to edit their videos. As a personal example, I spent lots of time writing code growing up. This turned into writing even more complicated code when I joined college. And when I did my first internship in software, I talked about it in a previous video. Now, I could just put stuff on my GitHub and LinkedIn showing potential employers what I do outside of the work assigned to me so that they have a better idea that yes, this person is interested in coding. There's no harm in building a new skill in your free time just for fun because someday it might be valuable to you in the future. Okay guys, I was about to start tip number 2, but I think there's some work going on here, so I gotta move. Okay, just trying to find a good place to film the video. Okay, just found a spoon here. Anyway, number 2, learning to budget and manage your finances on your own is such a useful skill to have. You know what? No, there's too much noise here. I'm going somewhere else. Out here on the perimeter, looking for a quieter place to film. Seems better. Alright, the second skill that I would have wanted to learn before I joined college is managing your finances. I'm not talking about like pro-level accounting. 5790 spent the coupe on my wrist. Multi-million dollar, I'm a fool with the hits. Simple stuff like how much do you want to spend in a month, in a week. A nice rule of thumb is just look at how much you spend in a day and round that off and multiply that by 5 and say, okay, this is how much I spend in 5 days. What percentage is that of my complete pocket money and is it sustainable? On top of that, it's a good idea to plan for unexpected expenses. You might suddenly have to travel home, or you might get sick and have to pay a few thousand for your medicines. Worst case scenario, your friends want to go for a big expensive dinner and you can't say no. It's a good idea to plan for these emergencies and have some reserve cash left over. I've learned that aiming for perfection is a bad idea in this scenario, so don't do that. I think a good idea is to just stick to a number and stay around that number. Personally, the cheap Cadbury chocolates at the convenience store have been my biggest nemesis. Every time I walk into the store, they call my name and I just end up buying one because it's only 10 rupees. If you multiply 10 by 7 though, that's 70 bucks a week. That could have been a roll instead of a very healthy Cadbury chocolate bar. So think about the opportunity cost of what you're spending as well. In short, if you haven't already, learning to budget your weekly and monthly expenses is a smart skill to learn as you transition from school to college. Alright, for tip number 3, I want to sit somewhere different for some variety in the scenery, so let's go. Alright, this looks like a good place. Oh, I did not think this through. Tip number 3, your network is your net worth. The internet is a big place, and the people around you can lead you to paths that you never thought existed. For example, my closest friends taught me about investing, at least the basics. In fact, one of them pointed me towards YouTube resources that gave me extremely detailed insights into investing in stocks, both long-term and short-term. Am I telling you to go become an investor? No. All I'm saying is you never know what a conversation with someone could reveal. How to work out properly, how to stay fit, how to diet properly, how to invest properly. These are all things I didn't just learn from YouTube, but also from the people around me, and continue to do so. Had I not had those conversations with those people about those topics, I would never know these things. In college, you are surrounded by people who know people who work in all sorts of places, and you have the opportunity to learn anything about these industries for free on the internet and from them so you can get the theory and you can get the real world experience, and the possibilities are just dizzying. My point is, college is a great place to understand more about industries, so don't waste the opportunity. I've saved the most useful tip for the last: start an investment plan now. Had I known about this before I joined college, I would have started this right away. Now, there are all sorts of investment plans and schemes out there, but what I did was I started something called an SIP, or Systematic Investment Plan. In a very oversimplified way, all this is doing is a certain amount of money which you determine from your bank account is deducted into another bank account. That account is managed by a bunch of people who want to make it grow. And so they will invest that money in the most stable funds such that it makes more money. So your money is making more money. And so instead of being in your bank account, this money is making even more money than you would if it were sitting in your bank account, hence potentially overtaking inflation. Hang on. You're an econ major. What's inflation?
So inflation is basically just a general increase in the prices of products that we use on a daily basis, any period of time. It could be a quarter, it could be a year.
There you go. I just wanted to ask someone who is in the know about these things. Anyway, on to the video. Had I not known about this, I would never have started this plan a year ago, and because of these savings, what happens is, knowing that you have significant savings to fall back on, you feel more comfortable spending money on daily expenses like food. And so it's a smart thing to start an SIP early. SIPs can be configured for any amount of money in your bank account. So whatever financial background you come from, there is an SIP scheme that might work for you. You can start a 100 rupee SIP, where just 100 rupees from your bank account is deducted every month into this savings account. You could start a 5,000 rupee SIP. You could start a 10,000 rupee SIP. The list goes on. In fact, many new parents actually start an SIP when their child is born so that they can later use the money to pay for their college expenses. And I haven't even gotten to the best part yet. As you add more and more money to the account, your returns actually compound with time. This is very oversimplified, but if I knew I could start an SIP in college when I joined, I would have started one in a heartbeat and reaped the benefits. Those are my 5 tips, and if you're still here, thank you so much. It means a lot to me. I've been running around to make this video. Here is a 6th bonus tip, which is actually this. Invest in a smartwatch. Now, many students buy a new phone and a new laptop before they go to college. A good thing to think about is investing in a smartwatch when you're going to college. It shows you how many calories you burn, how many steps you take, and so it's just a good incentive to stay fit over the long term. Had I bought a smartwatch when I joined college, I think it would have been very useful. If you found this video useful, that's all that matters to me. I'll see you in the next show. Bye. Hi, my name is Daniel, and I've been a college-going student for the past 2.5 years or so. Now, I study computer science, but here are a few things that I would tell myself before I joined college. I'm not going to waste your time, so let's get right into it.